I started ballooning in 1976 when it first started, and in those days sex was safe and ballooning was dangerous. But things have gone the other way round now. But well, it's 32 years I've been doing it, and every time I fly it's a different experience. And flying in Sri Lanka, there are so many experiences of different landing places, different winds, different temperatures, different mountains, very, very varied, very challenging, but a wonderful place to fly in.
I've really enjoyed the ballooning over here. It's just been so special. I've been lucky enough to have flown in over 30 countries around the world over the last 20 years, but this is right up there with the best places I've ever been to. The scenery when you're flying is absolutely spectacular.
What's special about it is it's such a beautiful place to fly balloons. Would you agree with that?
I would.
I think in all the locations that we've been to, compared to other countries, you know, we think Sri Lanka is like a jewel, a very green tropical jewel, and a beautiful country to fly in. The areas that we fly in, from Hambantota to up in the hill country, I think is some of the most beautiful country we've ever flown in.
It has just been great fun and adventure, real privilege to fly here.
The diversity of the island, the little England up in the tea plantations, so green and lush and fantastic. Contrast to the jungle and the cool mountains and the hot beaches, fantastic.
Well, the overall experience was exceptional. It's a very beautiful country with a very old and important culture, and we enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm actually looking forward to coming back and visiting the places which we haven't seen, like Kandy and Anuradhapura and the other historical places on the island. Both the beauty of the country, the scenery, the climate, the wildlife, and also the history.
The archaeology, Sigera Rock, just fantastic. I've seen stuff like that all over the world, but not to compare with that. Fantastic, yeah. The temples, the whole colour of the place, the lights, the warmth, the people. It's such a phenomenal history in such a small island, in such a small space. And it all feels so warm and personal.
While we've been flying, we've seen quite a lot of wildlife. We've seen fabulous looking birds. We were lucky enough to fly over a crocodile on our very first flight. And also I saw this large black cat creature. I didn't know what it was, so when we got back to the hotel I spoke to the organiser and explained what I'd seen, and he said what you'd seen is a black leopard, and nobody could believe it, and well, I couldn't believe it either.
England, we have warning on cigarettes, dangerous to your health. I think Sri Lanka should have warnings on chilies, because some of them can take you apart.
And eating buffalo curd with honey.
Honey
And
out of
that
a
buffalo curd is fantastic. Never had anything like it. Really good.
King coconut, which is a great thing to have, and they always can provide it.
This is one man, he came and he take out a coconut and he made a coconut. I was wondering what he's doing. And later on he said, I'm making breakfast for you. He made a breakfast with the dal, with the coconut and the bread. We had a very nice time, had a breakfast with them, and it was a wonderful experience.
Well, of course, the tea, lovely tea, always has been. Much better than Indian tea. I was able to go and buy 4 kilos, which will keep me going till I come back next time.
Yeah, I played 9 holes of golf at the local golf club. Absolutely fantastic. The place has not changed in 100 years, and the service we got there was first class. Absolutely first class. The golf course itself, the greens, absolutely first class. If that was somewhere to play in England, I would play there every time.
The ballooning here is it's not easy, but it is brilliant.
The actual flying for a pilot is challenging. There's very few places to land compared with many other countries, but that's not a bad thing. It keeps the mind focused, and it's a challenge to do that.
It's no secret both my daughters have severe learning disability, but another thing that has been superb about coming here is the fact that the country can cope so well. It makes us feel more welcome than any European country I've ever been to. And each time we seem to come here, it's like we've been injected a huge experience into their lives, and makes it easier to cope with things when we get back home. They sleep better, they speak better, and it's purely the magic of coming here. I'm sounding a bit sycophantic, but I can't enthuse enough about Sri Lanka.
What I enjoyed most were the people. Everybody is so friendly, everybody waved, everybody smiled. It didn't matter if we were just passing by them in the train or flying above them in the balloon or whatever in the street. People just say hello, and they had a great smile, which is very good. People have a very good attitude towards the others, and that's what we enjoyed most.
The people are so friendly. It should be called the land of 1,000 smiles.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody waves to you. Everybody you go past on the trains, and it's hello. Wonderful. Really enjoyed that.
When you land, that is another experience altogether, because the people, the locals, are so super and friendly and helpful. This is the first time probably they've ever seen a balloon. It drops out of the sky into their little yard or clearing, and the whole village is there within 10 minutes. You know, beautiful children, people in all their costumes, and the farmers are helping you with all their equipment. It's just fantastic.
The thing that impressed me most of all was the friendliness of the people, and how they came out to welcome us and help us move the balloon and assist with the balloon. The children reacted to us and the balloon with the smiles and the waves, and this was something that was really special.
One morning we landed in a paddy field, and the locals all ran up and the kids are everywhere, and one lady went and she came back with a pot of tea on a tray with some china cups and some biscuits. Now this, in the middle of God knows where, in a paddy field, is pretty special. I love the people of Sri Lanka. They're lovely people, they're genuine, and they do help you a lot, you know, when you're here as a guest of a country.
I usually find a helpful local farmer who would come along with his tractor and trailer, pile the balloon in the back, and we'll go along the road to the nearest tarred road. It's wonderful. Everybody's so helpful, they're friendly. You've got a super country.
Everybody is given the full support. There was no single person said no. Everybody is ready to come and help.
I've travelled to a great deal of countries, and I think I can honestly say that the Sri Lankan people have always been the friendliest people to us. A helicopter ride from Hambantota to Sigiriya, which I thought was just going to be a regular helicopter, sit in a little aeroplane, but it would still be exciting, but just something that I've done before. I was absolutely amazed and excited when I saw that there were two military Mi-17 helicopters.
helicopter ride was really, really good fun. It was very, very cramped. We all squished in. There was about 30 of us in a helicopter. We wondered if it was going to take off, but it did. And it was really good experience. I've never done anything like it before.
But they didn't have any rear doors, and all that was in place was a net. It was a fantastic ride, and we went into valleys and we flew around, and the scenery was fantastic.
You know, it was a Russian helicopter to fly over your beautiful countryside, really low level. We were going about 200 miles an hour, low level, over the forests, over the waterfalls. We saw elephants during that flight. In fact, at one point we actually did a circle. We banked around and did a low circle over this pack of elephants so everybody could get to see them. And it was just absolutely amazing.
And of course, being an old man, when I see the pilot, I think of him as a boy. But he was very, very skilled. I mean, he kept the tail like that, which is the test of a good helicopter pilot.
I'm a military guy, so I've been on a lot of helicopters, but the Sri Lankan Air Force allowing us to actually go in a military helicopter all together, very safely and professionally, it was just the most thrilling thing ever.
Really enjoyable, really enjoyable. And thanks to your Air Force.
This country is so wonderful because it's a photographer's dream. Every single scene, whether you're flying or when you land, it is like a page from the National Geographic magazine. You know, smiling faces, beautiful landscape, you know, the flora and fauna, absolutely wonderful. And you know, I tried to load up my flight bag with lenses and, you know, different things so I can capture every single image, but you just can't do everything. But we end up with hundreds of superb pictures. All of them are much more vivid and exciting than any of the pictures that we shoot back home.
Mist and against light is very nice, but photogenic in the morning. I'm most interested and impressed with the green countries, so beautiful greens, and the mist and the greens and the colorful balloons. I think so fantastic.
The light is so good here, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the lighting is amazing. And, somehow I think even just the sunshine, it seems to be a different colour.
Yeah.
And the greens are very green.
Yeah.
When I land, I take a few pictures of the children and then I send that back on CD. So
yeah,
it's
good.
Lovely. Just a quite little benefit.
The steam train, that's a unique experience, that is. Of course, this is a throwback to when the British were over here. The Viceroy train was a leftover from the Raj era, and it's been beautifully preserved.
When you saw the itinerary and it says we have a train ride from somewhere to somewhere else, and you think, okay, we're going on the train, and then it's our train. It's a chartered train just for us.
It's Lord Mountbatten's beautiful Edwardian, fantastic train.
And as we went by, everybody was looking into the carriages and looking at how special it was. And the train was certainly bringing lots of people to watch us, and it made us feel special as well.
I mean, it's like going on the Orient Express, except it's got different scenery, jungle, monkeys, elephants, and it's going along at a nice sedate pace. You have a wonderful dinner, it's air conditioned. What more could you want?
We were sitting in an open carriage and we had lunch, which was very nice, and then afternoon tea, which was fabulous really, because I couldn't get over it because the cakes were freshly baked and they were hot and they'd just come out the oven.
The fire in that engine hole, you know, just roaring away, and the steam and the smoke, and the guys working so hard to keep it going, you know. Bang a bit here, work a bit there, oh, off we go again.
It's been a boyhood dream to do something like that. I actually got invited to go on the footplate at the front. There were 7 guys up there. There was a stoker putting the coal into the fire, and obviously it was very hot, very dirty, but it was really enjoyable. But there's just the noise of it all and everything was absolutely fantastic. So that was something that I'll always treasure. I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to do something like that again, so that was really good.
love the monsoon season in Sri Lanka. It rains throughout the island, and it's a wonderful time to be here. All the rivers and lakes and streams just fill up, and the climate is gorgeous because everything just cools down, and the vegetation is particularly spectacular because everything is lush and green. At the tail end of the monsoons, it rains in the evenings and through the nights, and when we awake, it is to clear mornings, the sun is shining, and it's perfect weather for ballooning.
We were surprised yesterday. We was eating our evening meal. Thunderstorm was coming. You could hear it in the distance. But within 5 minutes, we had a few spits of rain, and then next minute, your heavens opened. Went and sat on the veranda, and we sat and watched a light show. Thundering and lightning lit up the whole sky, the ocean, your local village. Absolutely fantastic. Never seen one like that before. Fork lightning came down, struck in many different places, and this was a display you could never have asked for. Absolutely beautiful.
The weather is gorgeous. We have had some of the most spectacular thunderstorms. Just late at night, let's have a pyrotechnic display. Fantastic. Land in the middle of nowhere. Land Rover turns up with half a dozen soldiers on board to help you pack up and put your stuff away. They've really looked after us.
They've got a tough job to do, but they're just there.
Absolutely like that all the time.
Wonderful.
Yeah, fantastic.
The campsite people really giving full support, deflating, taking the balloon, giving the tractor, bringing till the gate, and loading to the truck also. They given all the support. I mean, this type of support in Sri Lanka is wonderful, and I never found in Europe anywhere like this support.
The Air Force are very helpful and cooperative, so if we can't fly near the rock, and we can land on the air base by permission of the commanding officer, which makes life a lot easier than landing in the jungle.
We just landed the balloon and thought, wow, fantastic. We've managed to get into the airport, the airfield, and now all we have to deal with is the military and the guns and the people and an explanation of why we've done it. Only to find that the CO, the commanding officer for the airfield, arrived in a car and was just so complimentary and so enthusiastic.
Our very first flight there, probably 2/3 of the balloons that flew actually landed at the airbase. We were met with a fantastic welcome. They said everything was fine. The CO come to greet us personally. We had cups of tea in their bone china, special cups and saucers with the Air Force crest on. and we had biscuits. They were fantastic.
And we stood there and we decided that a group photograph would be appropriate in the circumstances, and so we got all the people together in front of the balloons on the truck, including the CO and some of his people, and many photographs were taken. And then Anil organised 3 cheers, and it was a very hearty 3 cheers for the commanding officer, and I believe that he's coming to spend the evening with us tonight as our guest.
That following evening, I actually met the CO again while we were having dinner at our hotel, and because we were so pleased with how things are going, we offered him a flight in our balloon. Because he's rather a large chap, Sue said, "I'll stay on the ground to make things safe," and he immediately felt very humble about this and offered her the chance to get in his car with his chauffeur to follow on the retrieve, which Sue did. And when we landed, we packed the balloon up, and immediately his Special Forces guys come and helped us, and they carried all the balloon out for us. We went to the road, and again they got the china out, and we had cups of tea and biscuits yet again by the side of the road. The people there were sort of looking at us as though, these must be very special people. We're really made to feel special. And we got invited into his own personal quarters, and ended up having breakfast there as well, which he personally served to us to make us again feel so special. We really, have a gratitude to him.
He gave me a coin. It's dated 1945, and I believe the airfield, the airstrip, was made by the British Air Force in 1945, and it has Ceylon on it, and it's
and King George VI on the back.
Yeah.
So it's
which you can see just there, and I will treasure it, and it reminds me of my experience here. Thank you.
I'd like to just pay tribute to the Air Force in Sri Lanka. They have been so helpful. Without them, we just wouldn't have experienced what we have.
And Neil must have been up for nights after nights organising this trip, because there's so much to do. The logistics of the whole thing, the transport, the gas, everything. It must have taken him months to plan it all. Yes, well done, Neil.
How do you retrieve 22 balloons who've gone everywhere
in the jungle?
And they just make it happen. It has been
they did.
Amazing.
The truck drivers.
The transport guys, I think they're the real heroes. They've just been going morning, noon and night.
Fuel was always there, the balloons were always there, nothing has been damaged, everything was taken care of. It's a very important thing that the quality of their work has been reliable. Because you do rely on your crews all the time.
Main thing I'd say it's the balance between flying and enjoying yourself and visiting wildlife. So the balance between culture, wildlife, flying and entertainment was perfect. It is an excellently organized event.
The whole trip has been really well organised, and the welcome we've had from the hotels has been great. Ballooning is such keep such odd hours that, you know, if we wanted breakfast at 11 o'clock, and breakfast was available at 11 or 11:30, dinner would be held late whilst if we were going out on expeditions to see the various interesting sites of Sri Lanka. We've had a really, really good time.
The organizer for the Festival of Ballooning this year, they are really successful. I want to organize Ballooning Festival in Saudi Arabia, just like Sri Lanka.
I mean, the sheer logistics of moving all those balloons, all the equipment around the country, it takes a bit of doing. And it's a credit to Anil and the tourist board to have got so many balloons, so many crews, in so many hotels throughout the country with the minimum problems. It's a great credit to them. I mean, they really know how to organise.
Hot air ballooning is a deep passion of mine and I absolutely love it. I introduced the sport in Sri Lanka when I purchased my first balloon in 2002. At that time, I had no idea that this sport will become a major tourism event. The inspiration for organizing such an event initially came from my experience at the Bristol Balloon Fiesta. I thought, wow, this will be a fantastic thing to do in Sri Lanka. This thought gave birth to the 2003 Sri Lanka Balloon Festival, the first of its kind in South Asia. This is the third time that we have had this event in the country, and the 2008 Balloon Festival has been granted the prestigious National Festival status by the government of Sri Lanka on the recommendation from the Ministry of Tourism. We plan to have the event once every 2 years, and we even hope to host the World Balloon Championships in the future. The Sri Lanka Balloon Festival is more than a sporting event. It is an opportunity for families to tour this beautiful tropical island, meet its fantastic people, experience the rich culture and the biodiversity, or relax on the beach and enjoy the beautiful sea and sun. Many of the balloonists have attended all the festivals over the years and have become my dear friends. I have no doubt that they will continue to return to the island in the future. Organizing this successful event has been a mammoth task, which was made possible due to the balloonists participating, the sponsors, the different government agencies and private corporations. I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of them. I wish to welcome every balloonist and adventure tourist from all parts of the world to come to Sri Lanka and experience the next balloon festival. I assure you it will be an adventure of a lifetime.